all my real estate friends out there. In this video, I want to help you with manufactured homes. So whether you're listing a manufactured home or maybe you're helping a buyer purchase it, I'm hopeful that this video will give you a few tips as you navigate that process. Now, in addition to this video, I also have a flyer that I really want you to have. It's kind of a 2-page flyer, if you will, just gives some great bullet points, but I'm convinced it will really help you as you write that contract and put those deals together. So let's get started. I want to give you just 4 really quick tips right now in this video. And my first tip always has to do with communication, because I think communication is always key when we're all working together to help get a deal done. So in working with buyers in regards to a manufactured home, please reach out to that lender and let them know that the buyer's starting to look at a manufactured home, and make sure that the qualification letter that you have is good for that manufactured home, just like it was for that stick built. Now, the reason I suggest that is because as a lender, I try really hard to ask all the right questions during the application and qualification process, but sometimes I don't get the full story. And sometimes people start out looking at that traditional stick built home, but then they see something fabulous online and then they go look at that manufactured home. So in other words, sometimes I'm just caught off guard. But that qualification process is a little bit different whether you're looking at that traditional home or the manufactured home. In fact, sometimes that interest rate is a little bit higher, which affects, of course, a lot of things like the monthly payment and certainly how much purchase power that buyer has. In other words, I might have said that their maximum purchase price was $150,000, but once I realize it's a manufactured home, that maximum purchase price may very well be $140,000. So that's why I suggest reach out to that lender, have that conversation, and make sure everyone's on the same page and that we all know that the buyer is looking at a manufactured home. Now, my second tip has to do with title work. So if you're a listing agent and you're listing that manufactured home, it might be a good idea to go ahead and get some preliminary title work done. The reason I suggest that is because very often on the buyer side, when I'm working that loan, we will discover halfway through the process that the title work is actually still written up as personal property. In other words, the seller has not transferred the manufactured home from a personal property to real estate property. Now, it's a fixable issue and it's not that big of a deal, but I always like to know sooner than later so that we can get on that paperwork and not delay closing. So just a little tip there. All right, my third tip, you guys all know this. We have to have an engineering report to prove that the manufactured home has been tied down correctly. So we will help you with engineers here locally that can get that inspection done, but it's always great to address that inspection in the real estate contract, just so that everyone knows who's paying for that inspection. That is typically a little pricier than your traditional home inspection, so it's always good to kind of define who's paying for what, and then no one gets caught off guard. All right, my last tip has to do with the manufactured home itself. It has to come direct from the manufactured site to where the subject property currently resides. In other words, it cannot have been moved multiple times to other locations. It has to be direct from the manufactured site to the subject property's location. All right, guys, I hope those few tips were helpful to get you started. But like I said, I have more tips for you. Want to make sure I get that flyer in your hands. And as always, I am always here to help you guys in your business. All right, have a great week.